I find it fascinating that some people within the industry, the medical industry, who over the last 3 years have come to a place of deeper understanding how much the pharmaceutical cartels run the medical industry, at least in the allopathic sense, how they have jumped on board and have given us the counter move to the pharmaceutical industry's medical procedure, which they've been administrated en masse to over half the population of the planet in the last 3 years, and continues to be administered through a certain medical procedure due to the nature of variants of imaginary viruses that are supposedly able to be spread, which is, if you understand the work of Rudolf Steiner, Gaston Nassens, and other very informative people like Dr. Sam Bailey, Dr. Mark Bailey, who wrote an amazing treatise of Farewell to Virology, you understand that viruses are part of the cell's excrement, the cell's excreting toxins from itself in the somatid cycle. Yet these practitioners over here are offering us the antidote to the supposed pharmaceutical procedure, are offering us something that which you have to pay for, right? You have to pay for their antidote, because in the end they are going to make money from having the antidote to this procedure. We give you this procedure, but it costs you money to get this one, and this one costs you your life to get this one, or money from your supposedly your tax dollars, because the governments are paying for this particular medical procedure for you to have, and then they'll mandate this procedure for you to have. If you don't have this procedure, you lose your job, you lose your livelihood, you lose your benefit, you lose your social security, on and on and on goes. And this side says, if you don't get our medical procedure, our supplements, our treatments, you're going to die. You're in the fear here and fear over here. So it's fear. There's no place of balance, love, or harmony in either of these two offers, right? None, right? But once you understand the nature of the fact that due to the somatid cycle and the degeneration of the somatids within the blood, and the cycle of the breakdown of the somatids, that, as Steiner said, a virus is a excrement coming from a cell that's detoxing, you know that you cannot catch viruses, and viruses do not exist, right? So therefore, this antidote and this antidote are not necessary to anything, because there is no virus, and there is no need for this one or that one, and so therefore those two forces at work are gone. They're no longer in any way necessary in your life. If you perceive the information from this place, you do the study and you understand, you research, you study the nature of terrain, the terrain of the biological form, the biological computer, the avatar which you are existing in, and know who you are and what you are. Most importantly, know what you are. Which brings me to a really interesting epiphany I had yesterday when I was traveling between locations to do some work yesterday. And the epiphany was that Tartaria, which I'd never heard of before till about a year ago, when Max Egan and Jason Breshears brought up the whole idea of Tartaria, this civilization that existed at some point in our antiquity. It built these amazing buildings all over Europe and all over the world. They were built with incredible sacred geometry and architecture. They were also built with antennae off the buildings, often of brass or copper, that brought in the ether energy into compartments where the energy was stored, and then it was harvested in those compartments, and then due to the nature of the sacred geometry of the buildings that were built, the ether energy was taken into those particular parts of the building for various purposes, whether it be for lighting, for heating, for whatever, for consciousness development, cathedrals, churches around the world. You see this all over the world, these cathedrals with incredible sacred geometry and architecture with these antennae. They call them lightning rods, but they're really antennae for ether energy to come into the building, to be an influx of this energy, and to use the energy as a capacitator to be able to utilize it for whatever reason, for, like I said before, healing, heating, levels of consciousness development. And what I had when I remembered this was that technology is in harmony with the planetary life stream consciousness. God gave us that energy, the ether energy, to use. It's pollution free, it's abundant, and it's free for us to use if we chose to use it. But the powers that be within the system took that knowledge away from people, took the rods down, destroyed the knowledge of Tartaria, in the mainstream at least, and hid it away. And then, of course, Nikola Tesla, at the end of the 19th century, in the early 20th century, rediscovered the idea of ether and the energy of ether, and rediscovered it and wanted to give it to the world freely, right? Wanted to give us free energy, pollution-free energy. And of course, what happened? Mr. Westinghouse, what did he say? Where's the meter, right? Taken away from us. But what did they replace it with? What did they replace that Tartarian technology with? They replaced it with electricity. And my question was this yesterday. They replaced it with a bunch of with synthetic and also artificial forms of power generation. Also replaced it with technology that is, even though our bodies are electric. My question was, if our bodies are electric, are we being in a situation where the electrical forces that are brought into our reality, our civilization, through the use of electricity, are those forms of electricity, are they cohesive? Are they cohesive with our body's electricity? Are they cohesive with the planetary Schumann resonance? Are they cohesive with the cosmic and solar cycles? Are they cohesive with the plasma electromagnetic energies that go through the cosmos? Are they cohesive, or is there a distorting energy between the man-made electricity and the natural electricity which is generated in the body itself? So is there a distortion there, and is that distortion creating ill health? Is that distortion destroying terrain? And as that terrain gets destroyed by the distortion, is that why people go through a detox process? But and on top of that, you've also got this enormous amount of pollutants. EMF, EMR radiation, electrical radiation, pollutants in food, in clothing, in everything you can imagine in our world today is just full of toxins. Food, clothing, everything we touch, things that we eat out of, things that we drink out of, the water we drink, the air we breathe, everything in our environment is made to make our bodies and destroy our terrain in our bodies, and therefore put us into positions of where our bodies go through the process of detoxing. And if our bodies are too overwhelmed and our biology's innate intelligence can't do its job to rid our bodies of all the toxins that are in there and can't work properly, then in the overwhelming of our terrain, of our immune system, our destruction of our immune systems, means we come to a place where we can no longer fend off that which we normally could fend off due to our amazing immune systems that our bodies have. And therefore we become diseased, right? And I thought to myself, what if the answer, and this is my question, it's not necessarily the answer, it's my question, what if the solution to all of this, all this dis-ease, all this disorder, all this dysfunction, all this distortion upon our consciousness and our bodies was simply this? The answer was to attune our consciousness, our awareness, our bodies back to prime reality, back to source energy, back to God via our heart vortexes, which connect us to source energy, first cause, God. What if that was the answer to everything? It was so simple. All we needed to do was to regain our awareness, put our conviction in connecting to source energy, to prime cause, to prime creator, first cause, source energy, from our heart vortexes. And by being in that life stream, by being in that cosmic life stream, attuning to that energy, aligning with that energy, that was all it took us to remain in health, in balance, equilibrium, and also to have that connection that brought us into all those harmonious levels of existence. And all it would take is a bit of conviction, awareness, and a choice. Everything else was a distraction. Everything was a distraction. All it took us to have the optimum health, to be in a place of optimum health, consciousness, and existence, was to simply attune to our heart vortex and attune to the life stream of the planetary consciousness. It could be the Schumann resonance. It could be the fluctuating energies of the life stream of our planetary consciousness, the solar system consciousness, the galactic consciousness, and therefore on and on and on ad infinitum through the multiverse. All it would take is for men and women, not humans, men and women, to connect to that energy. As Steiner said back in the 1900s, due to the nature of scientific materialism, and of course, all these frequencies that are bombarding us. Dr. Thomas Cowan did an amazing presentation on Steiner's work in regards to this process. And he referred to a book called The Invisible Rainbow, which shows that all of these technological quantum leaps with frequencies have basically caused the major pandemics of the world since they have come into play. And there's a correlation between the two. The correlation is the pandemic and the quantum leap in technological frequencies bombarding the earth and us, which is we are together. We are one being. The planetary consciousness and our avatars. We're one energy. In fact, we're not even our bodies. We're frequency bands. We're waveform patterns. We're simply energy condensed to a slow vibration, therefore the perception of solidity. But we're all in the same cosmic soup. Now that cosmic soup has been overlaid with so many levels, so many frequencies. There's a distortion everywhere. But what would it take for us to become more spiritual in the sense that we come to a place of deeper understanding that this vortex here, outside of the avatar, the heart vortex, connects us directly to the energy of Prime Creator. And by connecting through our awareness to Prime Creator, what we are doing is we are bypassing everything else, all the distortions, everything. And there's no need for supplements. There's no need for that medical procedure from the pharmaceutical industries, or that bunch of supplements from these guys who want to sell you out of fear, want to sell you in that sense of distortion, sell you a product or products that will supposedly keep you safe and save your life. What if all it would take is for us to attune to that energy of the life stream consciousness of source power and allow the guidance and the alignment of source power into our beings through our heart vortexes to guide us, to align us to the highest and most profound experiences in our realities and our avatars, and align us in a way that we would be guided to be at the right place at the right time, wherever we were, whenever we chose to be present in that space, in that alignment, in that awareness. That's all it took. And it was free. It was free. All it took of you is the energy, your currency, to make the decision to move from there. What if that was all it took? I'm just saying. Thanks for watching. I truly appreciate it. Mateo. I'll see you again soon.